Choose your hipster. Customize your hipster. Launch your way through multiple levels. Try Infinite Runner. And then while you're at it, go for Launch the Trump. Get Launch the Hipster today, only for $2. Link in the description below. Only from the Mad Hen Games, a subsidiary of the Mad Hen House. What? Whatever. Welcome, game developers, to Doug Teaches Unreal Engine 4. Yes. In this tutorial, we're gonna make a save state that saves down the fact that we can fly. So, in the last tutorial, I showed you how we can fly. In this tutorial, we're going to save it. We're gonna save it down as an upgrade that we can get via trigger, and at the beginning of every level, we're gonna load that. We're going to see if the player did saving game, etc. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new variable, and I'm going to call it can fly. Right? So I'm going to take it out by holding down Control, clicking, dragging, holding down B for Bravo in order to branch it out, because we want to check and see if can fly is true. So right now we're done here. Why? Because if we, let's play this, right? If we hit Z, we're not flying, obviously, because can fly is not equal to true. By default, can fly is equal to false. So, what do we do about it? Well, first thing we're going to do is we're going to right-click, right? And then we're going to go into Blueprint classes. I'm going to go to all classes. I'm going to type in the search bar, I'm going to type in save game, right? So I'm going to hit select, and then I'm going to type in, I'll just, can fly save game or something. I don't care. So, first thing we're going to do in here is, where I'm going to go to new variable. I'm just going to say flight mode. I'm going to call this flight mode, right? So we're done with the save state. Then what we're going to do is we're going to go into the third person character. We got to make sure that, we got to make sure that on our event begin play, right? We have to ask ourselves, does save game exist? It's going to be looking for the save game. Well, actually, you know what? We don't need that. I'm just going to say, load game from slot. But it's looking for a slot name to actually load to. We'll get into this in a little bit. But then we're going to take out the return value, and we're just going to say cast to can fly save game, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to get flight mode. And once that's done, we're going to set it to can fly, right? So, what did we do? Technically speaking, absolutely nothing. What? Yeah, because, if we were to play this now and hit Z, I said Z, nothing happened, because we're not flying yet. And we didn't save anything down. We just loaded an unknown thing, and then we just got our flight mode nonsense. So how do we actually save this thing down? Okay, so how it works, we're gonna grab, I'm gonna look for a trigger box. Box trigger, right? I'm gonna go here, and I'm gonna drag this up a little, and I'm gonna make sure that visible is where is it? I'm gonna make sure hidden in game is unchecked. So then, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into Blueprint, right? I'm going to open the level Blueprint. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to just say begin overlap, right? So, how save game... Oh, shit. because OBS, different windows. Right, right. Why don't you use FreeCam? Because FreeCam's escape actually coincides with stopping, and I have to hit escape in order to get out of the play mode. Anyway, so how save games work is you need to create a slot, right? So you need to create a slot, and from there it'll save all of that stuff down. What I mean by that is, in this particular case scenario, we need on actor begin overlap. Here's what I mean. We have to drag that out and type in create save game object, right? Now it's going to be asking, okay, what's the save game class that you're associating this with? Well, we have the CanFly save game, right? So from there, what we can do is we can cast to it, right? And then we set, okay, so you cast to it. Why did you cast to it? Technically speaking, we don't need to cast to it because it's already being cast. You're not going to get an error, but this is just to be on the safe side. Now, the reason why we want our save game is because if you remember, what we have in our save game is flight mode, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to get that flight mode. We're going to actually set that flight mode, We're going to set it to true, right? And we're going to plug that in. But we also need to get the character and can say, get a reference to that character. You might be asking, why? Well, even though we're setting flight mode to true, keep in mind, in our third-person character, we only check for this once at event begin play. So even though this will run when we play it again, we need to actually get to the trigger box, exit out, and then replay for the flight mode to actually be a thing. So here's essentially what I'm saying. In our third-person level blueprint, right, in the example map, so I'm going to set CanFly to true. Let's set that to true. So by default, CanFly is set to false, right? But now we're setting it to true. But you might be saying, okay, but what's with the flight mode? Why do we check for that at the event begin play? And why do we set it? And why do we set CanFly equal to flight mode? Well, okay, here's why. Once we get this upgrade, right, and we stop it, CanFly will automatically be set to false because by default it's set to false. However, in our event begin play, since we load from a specific slot, what that slot is, I'll get to that in a second. Since we load from that slot, flight mode will automatically be set equal to CanFly. So when we load this and this is set to true, guess what? This is going to be true instead of false by default. Oh, I think I see what you're saying. Yeah, it'll make more sense when we finish this. Why? Because now we need to actually save this down to a slot. And it's very important that you set whatever you need to set equal to before you save the slot. So I'm just going to type in save game to slot. It's going to be asking for save game object. Guess what? We already have one, and it's CanFly save game. I'm going to drag that into here. And under the slot name, I'm just going to type in flight. All right? So I'm going to Control-C that, and then I'm going to compile this. Now, again, the only reason why you're seeing this note is because you're already casting it. You don't technically need this, but I'm using it anyway just to be on the safe side. So under here, under slot name, I'll paste in flight in a second, but let's do the example first. So if we do this, we can fly, obviously. So if I play now, I try to fly, I'm not flying now. But if I take the flight, right? The slot name. Copy it, paste it into here, and I recompile. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to fly. If I play again, hit Z. Look at that! We're flying. Why? Because, again, we save this to a specific slot. We call the variables that we want to set equal to whatever, and then we save it down. And in here, we load our stuff first, and then what we do is we cast it, and then we get that saved variable and set it equal to our in this case, our can fly. And that's how you do a save game system. Now, save game slots are wonders. You can do anything from character selects to level checkpoints if you so want. But yeah, this is how you would do a save game system. Yeah, end it here, narrator. And there you have it, game developers. Tune in next time for Doug Teaches Unreal Engine 4. Yes. Time for me to take a shower, baby. Really? 11 minutes. Huh.